Greetings, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. We all need a little help sometimes, yes, and I think that it is great to ask for help. I think that a lot of us learn to never ask for help, and I think that it is incredibly important for us to ask for help and to remember that that is okay. However, there are some people who ask for help in a very entitled way where it becomes a bit of a problem. And today I wanted to have a look at some of those. And these are all found in the subreddit Beggars Not Choosers. And it's basically just a bunch of people who are incredibly entitled and think that everyone owes them or that they deserve everything and others deserve nothing or very little. It's people who don't respect that people's time is money. It's just ultimately overall incredibly disrespectful and entitled behavior. And you know, maybe it'll help make you feel a bit better about asking for things, knowing that, hey, I'm really not actually asking that much, because like, look at these guys, absolutely fearless, asking for literally whatever the fuck they want. But yet I struggle to ask a simple question and to borrow like £2 sometimes, you know, like puts it into perspective a little bit. But before we get into it, I would like to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Lady Nutbar. I appreciate your support so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to be on Patreon, you go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month and I appreciate it greatly. And I also would like to let you know that this video is sponsored by Aura and I will tell you a little bit more about them in a little bit. Okay, before we get into the Reddit stories, I actually have a story of my own that I would like to share. It has been 11 years since this took place, but it still sits with me to this day. Basically, when I was at school in year 9, I was 13, I had someone in my life who, one of the things they did at work was distribute phones for the office. So everyone got their work phones. And in like 2012, the phone that everyone desired was the BlackBerry. And so that's what these phones were. They were distributed to the office by this person. And then in 2013, they decided to upgrade to iPhones. So suddenly they didn't need the Blackberries anymore. And there was a bunch of spares left over because, you know, they were like replacement phones or what have you. I don't know. There was a bunch of Blackberries that were left over. And they ended up being put in a box in my house. And then one day, my friend voiced to me that, you know, she didn't have a phone. Her phone was broken and her family didn't have very much money. And so she couldn't afford a new phone, but she really needed a phone. And so I told my friend, I was like, oh, I actually have a bunch of Blackberries at my house that like, you're totally free to have one. They're just kind of sitting around. Please help yourself to a phone. I know how important it is to have. And she came over and she went into these phones and she picked them all up and like looked at them and she was like, no, you see, they all have like scratches on them, you know? And the scratches in question were like the tiniest little scratch on the screen that you could see if you like squint at in the right light. You know, I have them all over my phone because I drop my phone all the time. And it's like, you know, we all have scratches on our phones. They don't impact anything at all. But she like refused to take a phone because they were in poor quality. These were free Blackberries after she'd spent days complaining that she couldn't afford a new phone. She wouldn't take one because of a tiny scratch. And that's just kind of bothered me forever. You know, like I was trying to do a nice thing and it's just absurd to me that that's how that went down. You know, it just felt so incredibly ungrateful. And yeah, like beggars can't be choosers. Like I'm offering you a free phone here and you're saying you're just gonna go without a phone? I'm like mildly offended now. That took place about 11 years ago. And that is my experience with this sort of category of people. Yeah, so now that I've shared that story, feel free to let me know if you have any similar experiences in the comments down below, and I'm going to share some more stories from some other people. So this is a post on Facebook that reads, I need some help with getting my cat to vet 30 miles away on Thursday. It'll be before 12 p.m. as they close at that time. I can pay $10 an hour for anyone to help. I don't have a car at the moment, and she's got worms and fleas. Bad. You'd have to pick her up from my house and I can Cash App or Venmo the money. Maybe something a teenager could do to earn the extra cash. Thanks in advance. $10 an hour, and I'm assuming that doesn't include gas either, is not enough for this task because, you know, you have fleas on your pet, like really bad, and they can get into the car. Is that why you don't want to do it? Because you don't want fleas in your car? Are you going to provide them with like the proper equipment and treatment to get fleas out of their car and their clothes if they do this? Like, and also being like teenager, good for teenagers. As soon as someone is like, I think that this job is perfect for a teenager, you know it's because they're underpaying. Like, you know, immediately as someone's like, I'm looking for a teenager to do this job, it's because they're not willing to pay what it is worth. And my thing on this too is like, it shouldn't have gotten to this point. You shouldn't need to take your cat to the vet when they have fleas really bad, and especially if you're then going to pass that on to someone. Like, this is preventative. Flea treat your cats, please. It is so important. If you have an animal, please flea treat them. It saves this from happening. Ultimately, it will save you money and it saves your pet from suffering. This is from Facebook Marketplace, and this person messages about a motorbike and they say, is this still available? Yes, it is. What's the lowest you'll take? 5K. Come on, man. I need a new bike. Mine got trashed and I'm really struggling right now. I'll give you $3,000 cash money today. No, thank you. $5,000 is the price. What the fuck? I've already started driving. I live 40 minutes away. I don't have time for this shit. Tell me where to meet you. Best I can do is $3,500. Will you take a check? I'll be there in about 30 minutes. Tell me where to meet you. Hello? Are you gonna ghost me now? Fucking asshole. I was trying to help you out and take your piece of shit off your hands, and this is the fucking thanks I get? I swear to God, I ever see your F-slur ass on the road and fin run you off, bitch. Hello? $3,000 cash in hand. I'll just take it for a quick ride to make sure it's good. Let me know where to pick it up. Fuck you. You're being reported for being a bitch, bitch. Whoa. Whoa. I am obsessed with asking someone the price of something and then like driving to their house to pick it up before even getting the answer. And also, like, on the listing, it says $5,000. So you already know that the price is $5,000. You were hoping for $2,000 less. That's a lot off. And then just going off, getting so pissed about it. I am obsessed with my bike's fucking trash, so I actually need a new one. And I'm happy to take this piece of shit off your hand and actually save you. It's like, sir, that's not their fault. That's not their problem. Maybe you shouldn't have trashed your bike. I don't know. Maybe it was an accident. It wasn't on you. But like, it's not this person's fault. If something says $5,000, you've got to be prepared to pay $5,000. Coming in and calling someone a bitch and reporting them and calling them a slur because you refuse to take the price at face value, like, that's on you, man. Speaking of things that we want that are affordable, do you know what I want? Internet security. And that is where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in handy. Did you know that your data is just out there? All of your information is so easy to find on the internet because websites store all of your information and then pass that on and sell it to data brokers in order to make a profit. So your information is constantly being sold to data brokers who then take your information and they use it to scam you. They can use it for identity theft. They can use it for a whole bunch of things that you really do not want to be involved in. And that is where Aura comes in handy. Aura is a one-step way to stop your information from being sold to data brokers. Aura scans all the places where your information is being sold and then automatically opts you out of all of them. And once you've been opted out, it is illegal to sell that data. So suddenly, a lot less people have access to all of that information, and you are so much safer online. And as well as being very easy to use, it is also extremely well priced. So if you hate scam calls and emails and hackers and identity theft as much as I do, and would like to stay as far away from that as possible, then I highly recommend checking out Aura. And with my link, aura.com/kiwi, which you can click in the description, you will get your first 2 weeks completely free. I value my privacy and I value yours, and that is why I cannot recommend Aura enough. I highly, highly recommend it. Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring today's video, and thank you to everyone who continues to use my links. I appreciate it so much. And yeah, so let's get back into some choosing beggars. I'm looking for a newborn car seat for a boy. I'm due any day now. I was given one, but unfortunately it's pink. If anyone is willing to trade or maybe even donate a boy one, it will be greatly appreciated. If you cannot afford to buy a different car seat, that's not anyone else's fault. Like, you have one right there. I understand if you can't afford one, like, period. Like, you cannot get a car seat that's outside of your budget. If you cannot afford the basic essentials of raising a child, that is going to be incredibly difficult. And I understand asking for help sometimes. However, if you already have the item, you just don't like the color, you need to get over it. You have a perfectly good one right here. But it's for a boy and it's pink. I can't have a pink car seat for a boy. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And if you can't afford another one, like, you can't stop complaining. You've got one. Did someone give you this? Was this a gift? Are you complaining about a gift that you got because it's the wrong color? Just be grateful that you have one. Like, I'm sorry you can't afford a second one. It does suck. You're not in a position here to be complaining right now. Hey everyone, can 12 people please send 15 to 20 to help me pay my room? It's absolutely needed today. Please, this is urgent. Please, I know someone can help me with funds to pay this. Also, yes, I know about programs and other resources and help, but I still need my room paid while I wait on additional help to fall through. Also, is there anyone available to bring me 2 packs of family-sized chicken wings, variety box of chips, and some Hawaiian punch today, please? I have no car, no transportation, or anything, or money, lol. Both needs are absolutely needed today. And attached with an image that says effectively the same thing of request needed today. Hey everyone, can y'all please share this around and help me get $185.99 today? Please, it's 105 outside, way too hot to be homeless. And like, here's the thing, right? I was with you at the beginning there. I understand sometimes, you know, you can't get the help that you need. I understand people who come online and ask for help because something's fallen through. Maybe they've been sick and haven't been able to work for a couple of weeks. They have a disability, like something has happened, which means they aren't able to get the money to pay their rent. And I think that it's great that the internet is somewhere where you were able to ask and you were able to receive help for that. I think that that's really cool. You lost me, however, at the end there with the order of 2 packs of family-sized chicken wings, variety box of chips, and some Hawaiian punch, because that's just so, it's just so oddly specific and spoken in such an urgent way of like, I need exactly specifically this or I will die. You know, like, it just makes the whole thing feel a little bit less authentic. Like, I think, and maybe this is just me, I think asking for food or even asking for specific food of like chicken and chips or whatever is one thing, but being so precise about how it is like so important to get that exact food order just feels like a little bit much to be tagged on to the end of this, you know? It's something that is like dire, I need this money to stay with shelter, versus like, I need this really specific KFC order, you know? Been going through a lot financially, and my friend who is in the nursing field only sent me $40. Let's not forget she only has 1 child. I feel as though she could have given me more as a true friend, to be honest. But if it was her in my shoes, I would have did more knowing it's school time. But all loyalty is not the same. That's so horrible. Oh my God. Only sent me $40 when I asked. Only $40. She only has one kid. She could totally send me more than $40. Nurses are notoriously not paid well. Nurses do not make good money. That's just like a really known universal fact. I think sending your friend $40 in general is quite a lovely thing to do. She could have sent nothing, you know? I feel like complaining about $40 being sent from your friend in a time where you need some money is like pretty decent. That's groceries for a couple days. That's petrol for the week. Like, if I was in her shoes, I would have paid more. You don't know that. You don't know what her salary is, or maybe you do, but like what her expenses are. You know, people like to have some safety money. People like to be able to meet their own needs first, because ultimately it is the most important thing to meet your own needs. You have to help yourself before you can help others. She's not going to give you money that she doesn't have. Complaining about your friend sending you $40 is wild. If my friend sent me $40 in a time of need, I would be so stoked. I would be like, oh my God, thank you. You are a lifesaver. Not going on Facebook like, this bitch ripped me the fuck off. In search of things for my first apartment, we pretty much need everything. Queen-sized bed and frame, 2 dressers, dishes, cups, plates, bowls, coffee cups, cooking utensils, etc. Coffee pot, microwave, toaster, couch, coffee table, end tables, TV stand for living room, 2 TVs, preferably flat screens, small kitchen table and chairs, dish soap, preferably Dawn, scrub things to clean dishes, cleaning supplies to clean bathroom, shower curtain, towels. How are you expecting to pay rent if you can't buy your own dish soap? You know, like, I'm worried about you if you are moving into an apartment where you're asking for people to buy you literally everything, including like spoons and sponges and dish soap. How are you eating? And how are you making rent every week or every month or however often? I'm concerned. I'm quite concerned. Also, I am obsessed with being like, absolute essentials. We need 2 TVs, preferably flat screen. I'm like, most TVs these days are flat screen, so that's not like that much of a massive ask, but quite funny that 2 TVs is on the list. I'm just obsessed with this list being literally everything. Go to some charity shops. Look around, you know? I understand that it's hard to afford things and money is tight, but building your entire flat off of donations from other people on Facebook is incredibly unrealistic. And also, are you going to be coming on here in a week to be like, hey, can everyone donate me my grocery list? Can everyone, like, buy me dish soap? Like, every month you have to replace like different cleaning supplies or whatever. Are you ever gonna buy any of this for yourself? Like, I'm just concerned about you living by yourself. I'm a little bit concerned about you. I'm worried. I hope you've got this under control because it's seeming concerning. Gardener wanted to transform my backyard. There is some rubbish removal which, along with the contents of an old shed, will be removed at your expense, as I'm sure you will be well rewarded when bikes etc. are sold by you. I need raised beds and compost put in so my wife can have a kitchen garden. She estimates a good week's work, maybe 8 days, which we will pay you £50. This, alongside all the money you could earn from shed contents, is a very attractive package. No negotiations. My wife will be in attendance to assistance with any queries, etc. We may also have extra work if you can paint, but we'll need to prove yourself with this job first. Berry area, access through a gully, 3 gardens down. Edit, you're all moaning about a wage. You forget you can sell shed and all contents. And it's got a photo of it. And none of this is worth anything. Like, a wheelbarrow with some stones in it, a falling apart, like half-built shed made of like probably not very good wood, an old tool stand, some like empty paint cans, just sticks of wood and a bike, which is probably also not in the best condition. And stated that it would take a good week's work, maybe 8 days, for £50. £50 for a whole week work. But you can sell the shed and all its contents. You'd be lucky to get £50 off of just that. Oh my God. I would say you should get what? How much would like living wage be? Living wage is something like £80 a day. So if you're doing that for 8 days, that's like £640. And you're saying 50? 50. And if you want to make up for that, you know, you're like, you could just sell the contents of the shit. You think they're going to be able to sell that for £600? I don't think so. And even if this isn't full-time work, even if they mean a week and like 4 hours a day rather than 8, that's still £320. You're still well underpaying. And you're still not going to make it back that much money on this content. Because if you could, I think that you would do it. If you truly thought that any of this is worth anything, I don't think you'd be offering other people to sell it. You just want free disposal. You just don't want to pay someone to come take it to the tip. So you're going to not pay someone to come and deal with it and be like, but you can sell it. No, they can't. No, they can't. Get rid of it yourself. Oh my God. As I've mentioned before, I'm going to need a bunch of photos shot of me for an OnlyFans page that I need to create for survival by the end of September. Unfortunately, I can't afford travel or to hire photographers, so I'd need to set up TFP arrangements, and either you'd have to pay for travel or live in the St. Louis area. I'm surviving on disability benefits. I thought I had a photographer from here interested and willing to travel, but communications have dwindled. Anyone else interested? Here's the thing. And this is the thing with most of these, right? Is that like people feel entitled, right? Because they're struggling. You see it a bit like in this being like, I can't afford a camera and I can't afford a photographer, but I need to do OnlyFans in order to make money because I'm only on disability. And I'm like, that's horrible. Like, I'm so sorry. That sucks so bad. No one should be forced into sex work. Sex work should be something you choose to do because you want to do it. It's not something you should ever be forced into. And it's horrible that you are in this position. However, it doesn't take away from the fact that other people still deserve to be compensated for their efforts, you know? Like, it's this thing that we have, especially when it comes to art, like photographers, right? Photography is a thing that people are like, it's not that hard. You can just come take photos of me. It's fine. Like, why don't you just do that? I shouldn't have to pay you for that. I really need this. Why won't you just do it for me? And it's like, because that is their job, you know? Like, they need to survive too. They need to pay their bills as well. They have spent money on all of the equipment. They would spend their time. Usually they do all the editing and things as well. Like, it takes them a lot of time. Time that, if they're not helping you, could be used to be doing stuff that is actually paid. So that's why you need to pay them, because someone needs to. Especially when it comes to like photographers and things, a lot of them are not making that much money, you know? Like, they need to support themselves. Just because you're struggling doesn't mean you're entitled to someone else's work. And you are not going to be very successful on OnlyFans if you cannot do these things for yourself. Like, part of going into these careers is that you have to, you know, spend money to make money, or you have to start amateur, right? When I started on YouTube, I literally just had my phone that I leaned on a chair in my auntie's guest bedroom, where my light was, I filmed at the same time every day. So I had like the natural light through the window. It was literally just my phone. That's all I had. My laptop that I had for a few years from uni, and my phone that was like a year and a half old. Like, if you have a phone, if you are posting on the internet right now from your phone, that is all you have to work with right now. You know, you just have to kind of make do with what you have and build it up from there, because that's just kind of the way that it goes. You know, no one is entitled to anyone else's time or careers, especially if you aren't offering to pay for transport. You know, at the very least, if someone is offering, like, maybe they'll offer to pay for their own transport if you pay for the photos. You have to come to something, because it sucks that this is the position that you are in. It doesn't take away from the fact that other people need to be compensated for their time and their work. I'm looking for someone who's willing to be a permanent babysitter. I'm willing to pay $250 every 2 weeks. The schedule that we know may change, and some days may be 12 hours until school starts. I have 2 boys who are 4 and 10. Please DM me. I'm sorry. Is this for every day? This seems like it's for every day, because some days may be 12 hours. $250 every 2 weeks. Some days may be 12 hours. So you want like 12 hours, $250. That's $20 an hour, which I think is kind of what a lot of people charge for babysitting. But that would be for like once. Sure, if you're going to pay $250 for one day of 12-hour babysitting, great. If you're expecting this person to come in every day, you're out of your mind. Oh my God. $250 every 2 weeks? No, that's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. It's so funny because it's like these people just feel like looking after their kids, they shouldn't have to spend any money on that. It's like, no. If it were easy, then you could probably do it while you do your work. You know what I mean? Like if it was an easy job, you probably wouldn't be needing to find a babysitter. You know, as a parent, that looking after your kids is difficult. And I know you don't get paid for it, but that's because they're your kids. But they do take a lot of work, as I'm sure you're aware, which means that if someone is there, they should be paid like living wage to be able to look after your kids, because if you don't pay someone to do that, no one is looking after your kids, and you kind of need someone to be looking after your kids. Oh my God. This is like childcare is viewed as, for some reason, like so low. So many people are just like, someone should look after my kids for free. It's like, why do you think that it's not worth spending money to have someone look after your kids? It's astounding to me. Like, I feel like if anything should have money spent on it, it should be like making sure your kids are like safe, you know? On that, we have this. Hi y'all, I'm looking for a live-in nanny. I have a huge room to rent with its own private bathroom for $600 per month plus utilities and nanny duties. I have a 6-year-old boy who is amazing to be around. Nanny duties would include hanging out with him for an hour or two each day, making us dinner twice a week, and helping keep the house clean and properly maintained. Possibly picking him up from school once or twice a week. I'm flexible. I just need some help. I'm a single mom with limited support here in Diamond Springs. Ideal nanny is similar age, late 20s to early 40s, and like-minded. I try to keep everything as natural and earth-based as I can. We like an early bedtime and rarely watch TV. No smoking, drinking, or drugs. We have a garden that is getting neglected that I would love some help on. We eat clean but are not strict about our diet. If this sounds like a good opportunity for you or someone you know, please reach out. Thank you. I'm sorry. You want someone to pay you for them to be a live-in nanny. That is absolutely not how this works. At all. Usually you pay live-in nannies and they're usually quite expensive. Like, you pay them to be a nanny and you provide them with accommodation. That's how this usually goes. And I know it's not like 24/7 nanny duty. They're not cooking 100% of the meals all the time, yada yada. But that doesn't really change things that much, especially because this feels very much setting up for a relationship of like, oh, I'm actually going out, so can you look after him right now? Oh, can you actually get him today too? Oh, can you actually cook? Like, it's setting up this like reliance and actually giving way more duties than is stated here, especially because like $600 per month is like, it's not expensive, but it's definitely also not cheap. Like, that's definitely like, I know people in London who pay that much and who don't have nanny duties, and that's in London for a room, you know? Like, that's the thing as well. It's like, you just have to pick them up from school a couple times, hang out a bit after work. It's like, okay, but that means you are looking for someone who has a very specific work schedule, which means that they aren't going to be able to interrupt their work schedule to do this unless they're going to be a nanny full time, in which case you'll have to pay them properly, you know? Like I feel like the room would cost $600 regardless of whether this person did nanny duties or not, you know? This kind of just feels, and that's like not even with utilities, actually. I fucking forgot about that. That's also, you then also have to pay for utilities on top of that. Can't have someone pay you while they work for you. That's not how this works. Just get a flatmate in and then hire a babysitter. That's what you want. They can be two separate things. Get a flatmate in, hire a babysitter. Piggy sitter needed. My family will be on vacation and need a temp home for pigs for 5 days while we are gone. 2 females. One is the boss, one is not. They don't jump or bite and love snuggles. They make bubble noises and have frequent arguments. They don't smell. We will bring all supplies and cage. Cage is 2 foot by 4 foot and pads need to be changed daily. Prefer a pet-free home because these ladies are tiny and might look like a snack to bigger pets. Excellent pet lesson or summer experience for young kiddos. We'll only consider residents, not a paid gig because they are so cute. Serious inquiries only. And then someone commented, you should pay someone for their time caring for your pets. They are cute though. And they said, I know, but they're not mine. They're my son's. I didn't want any more babies. I'll pay as a last resort. Firstly, I read this and I thought they were straight up just talking about like pigs. Like actual like oink oink pigs. This is my second or third time reading this and it's the first time I realized they're talking about guinea pigs. Which makes so much more sense. So much more sense than just 2 pigs. Okay, I've got it now. But like, I think here, okay, being like, they're not mine, they're my son's. My son couldn't look after them, so drop them off with me for 5 days to look after. But I don't really want to, so I'm passing it on. It's like, you could have just said no if you didn't want to look after them. You could have just said no. Now they're your responsibility. And me personally, if I gave my pets to my mother to look after and then found out she handed them off to a stranger, I would be so pissed. I would be so pissed. People are asking like, shouldn't your son have found someone to look after them? Is your son unable to pay someone to look after them? It's like, I mean, maybe not. Maybe he would have been willing to go and pay someone to look after his guinea pigs, but his mother said yes. His mom was like, yes, of course I'll look after them. And then immediately tries to hand them off to someone for free. That's fucked up. That's not okay at all. If I gave you my guinea pigs to look after, I'm trusting you to look after them. If I wanted to get someone else to look after them, I would have paid someone else to look after them. Handing off your son's guinea pigs because you made a promise that you don't feel like sticking to, fucked up. And then being like, I don't want to pay you though because I'm not getting paid and they're not my guinea pigs, so you can be paid in cuteness instead. Ma'am! No, that's not how this works. If you are getting someone to do a job for you, especially if they are strangers, then you have to pay them. Especially if they're like looking after animals. That is a full-time job. That takes a lot of time and effort and supplies. Are you gonna pay for the food at the very least? Like, in search of someone to help me with a haircut. I've been very sick, so I can't afford one, and my hair's getting out of control. I need a fade about 1 inch taken off the top. Licensed individuals only, please. Located uptown. Bump. I need someone to do a balayage. Again, we circle back to people not valuing art. Hair and hairstyling is an art form. You know, these people have trained to do this. This is what they do. This is how they make their money. People can't just take on free clients. Like, some people can, sure, but to expect that is not okay, you know? Cut it yourself or get a friend to do it, you know, like a friend or family member who's willing. Being like, licensed professionals only. Why are you being so picky? If you can't afford a haircut, get someone else to do it for you. Like, one way to get cheap or free haircuts is to go to a hairdressing school. I got one of the haircuts I got one time before I moved here was I met this girl while we were at a fast food place while we were drunk at 3 a.m. and she was like, I'm a hairdressing student. I was like, oh my God, I need a haircut. We exchanged Instagrams. She DM'd me the next day like, do you still want a haircut? And I was like, hell yeah. Went in and she cut my hair for her hair cutting exam. Like, it's possible. Just find a haircutting school or an apprentice or however it works and get one that's really cheap. Or do it yourself or get a friend who is willing. If you really can't afford it, some sacrifices have to be made, you know? You're either willing to pay someone what they're worth or you're going to get the result of what you're paying for or not paying for. You know, you want like a high-class haircut, you have to pay high-class money. You want like a badly done job, then get your friend to do it, but it's free. You know, you have to make choices. I think ultimately that's the whole thing for this video, right? Is it's all shit. It sucks. And like, I do feel bad, you know, like people are struggling and it's unfair that so many people cannot afford basic things. So many people are struggling and are unable to buy like a second option. They are unable to exchange things or buy art that they want or get their hair cut or have the food that they want exactly. Like, it sucks and it's not fair when all of this is happening while there are people who are out there who could buy a mansion and not even blink. It's just another Tuesday. Like, it's not fair and it sucks. And I am sad that this is the way that the world is. And I am sad that like it's so hard to meet ends meet and to like get paid fair wages and to just be able to afford the bare minimum. It sucks. And I think that we should ask for help. I think that asking for help is a good thing, but I think you also need to understand boundaries. I think that you also need to understand that other people's time is worth things. I think people need to learn to be grateful. And I think that we just need to have more conversation about like respect. And, you know, I'm going to make a video about it sometime, but that whole like, I don't owe you shit sort of thing, and the way that that sort of works and has an impact. Like sometimes we do owe each other. Sometimes, you know, you do things to help people, but you also should do things to help other people. And we should work more as a community than we do. But yeah, anyway, fuck capitalism. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but don't be a dick about it. And pay people what they're worth. That's really the takeaway. Ask for help, don't be a dick about it, pay people what they're worth. And with that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. I upload every few days and I would love to see you again. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you greatly. And a huge, huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Michaela, Natasha, Lady Nutbar, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Samuel, Chris, Elias, Danielle, Eldo, Jessica, Ikazel, Mandy, Josh, and Bobby. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos early, and then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.